Peace, 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 family. What's going on? What up, though? This is your host, Shakti Sterner, editor in chief of Get This Wisdom magazine, creator and founder of this here platform, Get This Wisdom Live. Disclaimer, as always, I have two babies, two autistic kiddos who are always right with their mom as they should be. So if you hear a child or both of children, both of them in the background, that don't allow that to deter you from what we're discussing. And if it happens to become a situation where I have to shift focus and handle things, attend to the children, I will, of course, pause this live and come back if I am able to. And if I have to end it, I will, and, you know, continue it later on. And also, I do have a little cough going on, so you might hear some coughing. Same rules apply. If it gets too much, I will pause this live and handle my business. And if I can't, return, then I'll end the live and come back later. All right, so we got all that out of the way. It's been quite a while, family, since I have been able to go live, you know, and I have to apologize, right? Because I do have an audience, I do have a platform, and people have been asking me and downright begging me to go live and to share certain things that are going on and my personal thoughts on those things. However, life be lifing, and as I said on a couple of the previous lives, that we did have a major loss in our family this past calendar year, and a loss of that magnitude does require one to sit with that and just do what you got to do to process that and reevaluate life and all those things that come along with that. I'm still going through that. However, I am in a much more better space than I was, a few months ago when we did the last few lives. I am in a much, 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 much better place mentally where I can have these dialogues with you guys and present you with strong, thoughts about certain things that are going on. And I apologize for the hold up, the wait, but I also thank you for your undying support. So here we go. Okay, so in the last, I'll say just the last 12 months or so, there have been a lot of things going down that I have, been trying to keep an eye on as much as possible. But like I said, I was in the middle of, losing my dad, so I couldn't really devote all my focus to that. However, let's talk about this ICE shit. Can we talk about this for a minute? Okay. Now, when we present information to the public, we try not to be good, so biased and having a strong opinion one way or the other. But Shaki Shameka gonna have an opinion when it, and I'm gonna make it make sense. So this ICE shit been going on, for a while now, and it's been a lot of hoopla, a lot of protests, a lot of people getting shot up, which I don't condone that. You know what I mean? So that's not what this is about. However, our current administration has assembled this group of characters like they're the damn Avengers or something, who have no real credentials other than they know how to put on a mask and some camouflage fatigues and shoot some guns. That's pretty much it. So our current administration has assembled these Timu Avengers and unleashed them all across the United States of America. I see, no, America. Excuse me. I'm trying to be politically correct somewhat here. Um, Here's the thing. This is stolen land, right? This land has been so-called discovered, if you will, by pilgrims and people who have European faces and European names. Last I checked, historically, uh, and this is historical information here, there were individuals already on this particular landmass, right? There were the natives, the aboriginals, the indigenous people. They were already here. This land could not have been, discovered if there were people already here. It wasn't like it was a barren landmass. There was already people. There was already population, a whole civilization of people here on this landmass that the European came through with his deceptive ways and manipulated the native, killed the native, and stole the land. So we have that same European who is saying that immigrants are here, they stuck it to the country, they're here illegally. They're here illegally. Okay. Well, what does that mean that these so-called people that discovered, air quotations, this land were here illegally as well? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. So you are a part of the people that were the first illegal immigrants on this land mass, sir. You and everyone that looks like you. You know what I mean? So when we look at it from that perspective, we have to be a little bit more fair in our assessment of what's going on in those communities. Now, are those people, and when I say those people, I'm talking about the Mexicanos, the Latinos, whatever, Cubanos, whatever. They are blaming us. Once again, everybody is blaming us, brown, black, whatever term you want to use, African American, Negro, melanated, whatever. I'm not here for all that. They're blaming us for not joining in their fight. The white people are joining us. I mean, not joining us, excuse me. They're blaming us. Everybody is blaming us with this ICE shit. Like, we were stolen and brought here against our own will. We didn't even want to be here to begin with. We didn't ask to come here. So why do y'all want us to be a part of y'all shit when y'all ain't helped us not one bit? Every last situation in this society. Now let me pause. This has nothing to do with the innocent children that are being hurt in this process. I have nothing against any child of any skin color, creed, or kind. Children are children. They are innocent until adults corrupt them. Okay. So any innocent babies that are falling victim to this bullshit, they don't deserve that. And I know it's pregnant women getting dragged off, that's something I can't condone either. However, when I think about my people, see, my interest always lies with those that look like me first before I can care about anybody else. There were pregnant women with my skin color that were being attacked by dogs, sprayed with water hoses. There were women that looked like me on a slave field, giving birth, getting the children snatched from them, and then still made to labor and extraneous heat conditions and things of that nature. There were men that have my skin color that have been shot down by certain agencies and infrastructures. There were men that were snatched away from their families. There were men that were killed. There were men that were lynched. I mean, there were women that were lynched too. All these people have my skin color, right? They have my skin color. So this is stuff that we have been enduring for centuries now. And now that these other people are starting to get a dose of what we've been experiencing for a very long time, now the whole country's in an uproar. Now everybody's, where's the Black Americans? Why aren't the Black Americans standing in solidarity with us? Do your research. Before you ask those ignorant ass questions, why do we feel motivated to stand in solidarity with you? What would help us in that? What would benefit us in that? Absolutely nothing. We have no dog in your fight. We have our own still going on over here that has never been addressed, that has never had any solutions for it. We still have our own warfare in our direct communities that we have to focus on. We can't help you with your shit. We can't be there for you anymore. We have always, and I've been saying this for the better part of 11 years, y'all. Go watch damn near every video I done put out. We Black Americans, Negroes, whatever, like I said, I'm not really all into the semantics when it comes to people that look like me. The fact of the matter is, we have always played Captain Save-A-Ho to all of y'all. We've always ran to join and support your movements, support your initiatives, and we always ended up getting blamed for that shit too. We always got blamed for it. Y'all come pandering to us. We need you. This affects you too. Come help us. Come stand with us. Then what happens? We get blitzed. We get hung out to dry. Get all the blame for the shit when it never was about us in the first place. So now that this shit is exploding and everybody is up in the uproar, oh my God, ICE is doing this. What the hell been going on to Black people for? This shit is funny to me. Like y'all really up here just laughing and playing in our face like this right now. That's how I take that. I take that like, damn, maybe the chickens is coming home to roost or something because this shit is crazy. I'm going to sit over here and finish my popcorn and my tea though. I'm not about to come out there with you. I don't want to stand in solidarity with you. I don't want to be shoulder to shoulder front lining with you and your shit. When it's still Black kids that ain't got the adequate resources that they need to survive and thrive in the inner cities. We completely done just turned our eyes off of that. The little eyes that were focused on it, because it wasn't many eyes focused on little Black babies in the inner cities like Detroit, like Chicago, like, excuse me, most of the 5 boroughs in New York, Oakland. All these little Black babies suffering, right? The few eyes that were on them, not unshifted focus to y'all shit. And it's like, come on, we supposed to give a fuck? Ask yourself this question, Black man and Black woman. And y'all gotta learn how to be unapologetically proud in who the fuck you are, and unapologetically proud in who the fuck and what the fuck you stand for. Stop acting like some little punks thinking y'all gotta be involved with that shit. It's okay to say, no, fuck you, fuck your problem. I got my own problems to worry about. Me and my people gotta focus this way. But that's how it's all systemically designed anyway. And that's what I need for y'all to understand. Most of these things that are happening have always been put into place strategically to keep us blinded and making it where we can't focus on the work we need to do. This shit is really all a design for us to be distracted. That's what it boils down to. Because they know, the powers that be, they know us better than we know ourselves, unfortunately. We gave them the tools, the science, the math, all the shit. That came from us. We taught them, we educated them, and they used our own information against us and all that bullshit. But we are blinded purposely because they know how strong and powerful we are, not only just physically, mentally, spiritually. If we were actually to wipe that dang on sleep out of our eyes, that crust, and really just wake up from that slumber, that spell-induced slumber that we're under, who gonna stop us? Who and what race of people can stand against us and stop us? The only way that they could figure out that we could be stopped is to keep us fighting against our own power, to keep us blinded on our true history, our true selves. They figured this shit out. They said we can't put ourselves in front of them. We the weakest version of mankind. The recessively, we're the fucking weakest. We can't beat them people. And we can't go get the Chinks. We can't get the Spanish or none of that. None of them can beat us. That's why the smart ones try to be our allies, but that's very few and far between. Because Dr. John Heinrich Clark, all praises due to the ancestors, said, "We have no friends. We don't. But we want to still be friends with people that don't have our best interests in mind, our kids in mind. They don't give a shit. They don't." How many little black babies you know done got killed up the last year? Like, and we sit up here, talk about the accountability factor, right? Yes, I'm all for it. I'm all for accountability. That's the only way we can truly recognize that power that we have, that true self that we are ignorant to. However, while we're holding other black people accountable, the black on black crime, we got to get the black people to stop killing each other. Why the hell are we doing it in the first place? Why? We ignore the root cause of why we have turned on each other. The root cause has nothing to do with us. It's them. They created all the bullshit in society that motivates us to hurt each other. So while we're talking about accountability in the black community, yeah, that is absolutely necessary. But we also need to hold them niggas accountable too. If you excuse my language with that terminology, hold them people accountable. Hold the European accountable. The Homo neanderthalis. Hold his ass accountable. You came into this landmass. You stole this landmass from the Aboriginal indigenous people that were here organically. You brought your corrupted ass over here, poisoned them, slaughtered them, whatever you did. Whatever you did, John Smith, and whomever else that was with you, y'all came over here and did that shit. Y'all created all these heinous conditions that made people that have the same skin color felt like they had no other reason but to hurt and kill each other. All these European learned behaviors, even these missed mental illnesses and diagnoses that we have not had in the black community because we're ashamed to speak about it. All that shit is inherited and learned behavior from their ass. We have an example of where that comes from. This is facts. Don't take my word for it. In fact, I encourage you not to believe shit that I say. I encourage you to use your own mind, your own ability to research and read and use discernment and critical thinking to figure this shit out for yourself, right? And we're sitting up here in the calendar year, because but we know what that's about, of 2026. It was all popping in 2025, but it's still all going right now. We're so upset with ICE for all that crap. First, I don't have the motivation to even give a fuck. I don't. No, not when I go outside still and I'm still seeing people with my skin color standing on the corner begging for change because whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we sitting up here talking last night about these schools being closed today up here in Detroit because how cold it is. And do you know the administration did not put word out until like 9 p.m. when it's like 12, 15 degrees below zero right now, snow everywhere. Kids, DPS, most of the kids walk to school, catch bus. And y'all decided to play around with that until 9 p.m. This is what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the people that in my community that are government dependent, right? Which if we just got our fucking 40 acres and a mule, if we just got our damn reparations, maybe we wouldn't have to be so government dependent, but that's what the fuck they want to. But I have to care about that dog. Because most of the people I know get some form of government assistance. So when we have this administration playing games with that, that's where my focus goes to. What's going to affect my direct circumference? I don't have Latino and Latina comrades. I mean, at one point I may have had one or two. Literally, I could count on one hand. But as a whole, that's what their so-called problems are, and they want to talk about their oppression. Cool, have that. You got that. I can't take that away from you. But you damn sure ain't gonna take away the oppression that affected me and mine for centuries. You won't ever compare your battle to my battle. You won't make your war is equal to what me and my people done suffered through and endured. You won't ever do that. So while you want people to focus and care about your oppression, do you give a fuck about ours? That's what I want. If I could go talk to somebody on the front line right now, which I'm not, because I'm not even motivated to go find. They hear about protesting all over Detroit and everything. I don't give a flying two shits what they protested for if it ain't in the best interest of the people that look like me and mine. Don't care. And I'm proud to say that. Nobody will make me feel bad about that because we suffering too much to this day. Every damn phone conversation I'm having with people that look like me is devastating to me. It's absolutely, is after all these years to hear these phone calls that I'm still having to this day, literally, it breaks my heart. So how do I have it in me to care about you when my heart is broken about my own? I can't care about you. I don't have it. And I think that if we started to move as a collective with that type of mindset about who we are and what we're going through, then we can start to heal our shit. Because we got a lot of shit within us that we need to heal. Like, for real. We got a lot of mental conditioning to reverse. We got a lot of shit to get rid of. A lot of toxic shit that we just got to get away from us. We've been behaving as European and black faces for too long. So while you care about, I can't tell you what to care about, black man and black woman. I really can't. That's not my position. I'm not the God over your life. However, if you're listening to my message, that means it resonates within you at some point or the other. So focus on you and yours and ours. Build your community up. Build your household up first. That's where we are as freedom fighters on our front and these frontliners, because I was one. I was one for a long time. You know, I don't regret that. However, if you go watch this documentary that some of the Black Panthers did, when we get all into the community building and such, sometimes we should put our focus solely on the outer part of our circumference that we neglect the home front. And I recall hearing some of the elder Black Panthers saying if they could change one thing, they would have spent more time with their family. So we have to operate within a very strategic way. You build your home, then you go to your neighbor's house, then you go to the people down the street. That's how building works. You get your foundation straight, you get your neighbors together, you get your block together, build your community. We ain't got time to focus on that ice shit. Like, that shouldn't even be a priority for us. Like, yeah, it's an interesting dialogue. You know, people have their own mindsets and their perspectives about it, but that should not be your priority, black man and black woman. Why is it that big of a concern for you? If it ain't at your doorstep or your family's doorstep or people that look like you doorstep, it don't fucking matter. Because when our shit pop off, like it's been popping off, it don't matter to them. They don't give a shit. They ain't never gave a shit. They don't care about black men and black women getting hunted down in these streets. They don't give a fuck that we barely got two nickels to rub together, that within the whole wealth conversation, we are at the lowest of the fucking wealth chain. They don't care about nothing that we go through. Now, you may find one or two, 1, 2, 3, make tops 5 that actually sincerely care about the best interest of our community. But 5 against 1 million, I mean, come on now, let's talk about it. So yeah, this whole ICE thing is like, okay, and what else? Why do you want me to care about that? And then when you have this conversation with some other people with your skin color, they so conditioned that they want to make you feel bad for not caring. Like, do you hear yourself talking right now? Like you care more about them than you care about the people in your own community. That don't make sense to me. When when we looking at the Europeans, the whites, the Caucasians, whatever you want to call them, peoples, I really don't give a shit about that either. They care about their own first. The Asians, their own first. The Latinos, their own first. Well, when I say Asian, I should have said Oriental because there's so many of them, and I don't give a shit. They all look alike to me. Um, the Latino community, they build amongst themselves first. These people that's calling themselves Arab, which that's really not their true title, but for shits and giggles, we'll call them the fake Arab, right? They build amongst themselves first. My point is, every classification of people care about what best benefits their conglomerate first. They are the priority to themselves. And to me, that makes proper sense. Like, that makes all the sense in the world. I'm not mad at them for that. I'm mad at us for not doing what they're doing. We should be absolutely caring about ourselves first. That why does that sound like such an absurd thing to do? Society has it where, once again, that we can't love ourselves out loud. Because when we start to have those types of conversations, you see what happens. But we have to move past our fear of what happened to our ancestors and start to really be bold and courageous in the fact that this is who we were born as, and we should love ourselves unapologetically. And whatever that looks like and how that benefits our children. Because one day our elders are leaving us. They're leaving us rapidly. They're transitioning up. I just went through this personally in this last calendar year. We're becoming the elders now. What do we have with all the information that we have within ourselves and our ciphers, our circumference at our fingertips? What are we building for the little ones now? Or are we still going to repeat the same old bullshit? We don't have time to go help them build their shit up because we got our own shit to build. Like, for real, when we gonna get into that mindset all the way across the board? Now, if you want to go be with them, but pick a side and stay there. And people, I don't know everything. I'm still growing and learning and figuring things out every day. I got my own problems, for real. But that don't mean I can't care about what's going on with those that look like me. And I'ma always emphasize that. Me. People who have the different shades of my melanin are my priority. I can't worry about nobody else. I don't have it in me no more. And I'm very selective on who I'm giving all that energy to as well. So that we have that, right? Okay, cool. And I could build some more on that, but it was a couple of more topics specifically that it was requested of me to speak on. And I want to go into it before they slip my head. Detroit just inaugurated a new mayor. I want to call her a black woman. That's debatable. However, Mary Sheffield, I believe that's what her name is. That's how much I care about this shit. I got to really think about her name. I don't know nothing about her other than what I researched the last couple months. And it ain't what I discovered ain't too positive, but once again, for shits and giggles. So Detroit has this so-called new black lady mayor, and they say we haven't had a black mayor in however many years, months, and days, which that's up for debate. It was presented to me by somebody very close to my heart that that information is inaccurate. Detroit did have a excuse me. I told you I had a little cough going on. Um, a black lady, melanated lady, whatever, mayor. Many, 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 many years ago. Before things got this documented with the Europeans touch and all that bullshit. So, Miss Mayor, you say that you're putting on these new programs into the city of Detroit, which I had a conversation about it yesterday. In theory, these programs sound good. A lot of things have sounded good, you know, but what's really going on? So we have this new program here. Well, one of them anyway. I'm going to touch bases on a few that I am aware of at this point. Excuse me. The first one being this new, I guess it's RX. If I'm not saying the whole name, you could drop it in the comment section or whatever. But it's a new program that gives single mothers a certain amount of money and stipend while they're pregnant and like 6 months thereafter the baby is born. Hmm. Right. Okay. So you're going to give women anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to help with these newborn babies that they're having. Now, on an objective level, I can see how that would be beneficial to some women who have the proper mindset, who would absolutely take that money and do what is right for the child. You know what I mean? I could see that being helpful. However, again, when we look at again the whole conglomerate and the mindset that we have developed due to European learned behaviors, I'm going to keep citing that. A lot of our women will get pregnant on purpose just to get that money. And that's the any unborn child that is created from that doesn't deserve to be just another paycheck. Like we're supposed to be again in 2026 as per this Gregorian calendar year. And for them to see, that's a democratic thing that I'm not affiliated with one political party one way or the other. So don't take this as a bash the Democrats because I'm a Republican. No, you would never hear me say that I am one thing or the other. However, when we put something like that on the table in a universal economic structure that they've been trying to push on us absolutely since COVID, we are not looking at the bigger picture. The one aspect is the women that will just have the babies for the money, but we got to look at the economic fallout from that. We saw it in actual real time when all the funding was given out during COVID, the unemployment things and such. It looked good for a minute. It felt good for a minute, didn't it? Yeah. But we're still dealing with the fallout from that now, 5, 6 years later. We haven't recovered economically from that aspect. The taxation is still through the roof, the interest rates and all this stuff. It's bananas. So when we're looking at a city like Detroit, who is already poverty stricken, again, by design, this is all a well-oiled machine, but it's poverty stricken. And you put that type of money on the table, people just gonna start popping out babies and thinking that money is gonna be just the best thing ever. And who's gonna be left to foot the bill on that though? Taxpayers and people like that are going to have to pay that. So when we come with these programs that sound good in theory, have we actually done something to see how it would work in real time? How practical that is? How tangible that is? No. And then has it been placed up for a vote? Has the community that's going to have to eventually cover the bill for that have they been given a place to say if they want to adapt that or if they want to support that or not? No. This is just something that so-called higher ups and people who have these official political seats have came up with. This sounds great. We're gonna do this. Where's the fine print though? I'm really I'm interested in the fine print. Excuse me, I do have a cold. And the fine print is always very, it has all this other little bullshit in it that since we don't read, we tend to overlook. And then once it hits us, oh, and they say, well, we had it there for you all to see for yourselves. You motherfuckers, y'all know how to play on the subconscious mind, don't you? You know that people are poverty stricken and they hear free money. So what they gonna do? The subconscious gonna jump. That's just what it is. I'm telling you, all this shit sounds really absurd to me. It I would love to see more tangible solutions in place, but that requires a whole restructuring of the system and infrastructure that is in place. You can't come to the table with this little piece of bullshit thinking it's going to change and shift the whole paradigm of this whole pot of bigger bullshit, right? We're gonna put this little piece of bullshit in the pot, and it's gonna make all this other bullshit go away. It's gonna make it better. No, that don't work like that. When are we gonna have some real competent individuals that are in these political offices that sit down and be very transparent and honest and say that none of this shit is working? We need to wipe it all off the board. We need to take, if it's a chessboard, we need to take our forearm, and I'm doing the actual gesture right now. We need to take our forearm and knock every piece of shit off the board and start fresh. When will we have that? Those are the type of people that I would vote for. I don't vote for a reason. But those are the people I would absolutely go out into that line and put my name on the ballot for, because we need to start over. None of this has been working. None of it. It won't work until the whole shit is reset. A whole, what is it? What they say, global reset? Is that what they talking about? Let me know. Like I said, I've been pretty much under I ain't under the radar. I ain't been, popping out too much because I had some other things to focus on. But I'm still trying to keep my ear to the street and see what the fuck is they talking about, because it don't make sense to me. Okay, you want to pay women to have these babies, but where is the qualifications for that? What are you having these women go through some form of a psychological evaluation or something to make sure that they have the right mindset? Because if not, you're just going to pop out more babies that is not cared for, and it's enough of that going on. We like that. Like I said, it sounds cute. It sounds okay theoretically, but in practical application, what are we doing? That don't the picture, when it don't add up, it don't make sense to me. I'm good with numbers. I've been pretty okay with them. I can count very well, So when the shit just don't add up, something is off there. So y'all, it seems like it's an agenda behind that you want more babies being born that are not cared for to lead them to their slaughter in one way or the other. That's what it comes to me as, but maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I don't know everything. I know what I know though. And then this secondary program, again, sounds great in theory, to one of the program in so many terms is saying that to help combat the homeless epidemic that's happening in Detroit, because it absolutely is. Instead of giving away, or putting this funding into these abandoned homes here and making them into livable infrastructures and allowing people to take over those properties. There's a million of them here that ain't being lived in, that's blighted and all that. Y'all want to take some money. Where y'all getting this money from again? That's neither here nor there. But you got this program now that you're gonna pay a family member or friend to take in a homeless person. Okay, again, in theory, that sounds great, doesn't it? That sounds like, I could get paid for taking in my homeless family member now. Hmm. Again, the fine print. Where's the fine print? The fine print is not. It's not making it very clear on a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure that if I get the chance to actually research the money trail behind this, it's going to reveal something different. Just like when I researched the donors for Mary Sheffield. I'm not going to tell you what I found. No. If you really care about that, that's public information for you to go research for yourself. Like we have to start really looking into all these different things that these higher ups are presenting and see where that money trail leads to, because it's going to lead you to somewhere else, and in the rabbit hole you might as well go ahead and get your parachute and jump down that baby. And I don't get it wrong. I would love to see programs like this really make an impact and a difference. However, we have been promised so much in the city of Detroit and all across America, that a woman like me got to see something to believe it, and I got to see that it actually is going to work before I align myself or my support with it. Like, I have done that so much, like y'all don't understand. On a personal level and even on the political and the community level, I have aligned myself with so many different programs and organizations just for it to turn out to be some other shit. So now I'm like skeptical. I'm like, hold on. I gotta see this in real time. I gotta see how it's gonna really play out before I say, okay, I'll offer that as a resource to my people that may need it. And not doing none of that. So again, y'all, I'm over here trying to keep my eye on what's going on. And the discussion was had that Get This Wisdom Live is going to transform. We're not taking away the platform, not at all. It's been around a long time. We're at our 10-year anniversary with the platform and the magazine, and I hadn't even paid attention to that until I had a recent conversation. Like 10 years, yeah, you're right. You're about right. Yeah, it's been 10 years. So Get This Wisdom is gonna get this part of it anyway. This part of the platform is gonna transform a tiny bit. I'm committing to bringing the platform back on a bi-weekly level to you guys, to keep you all in the know and in tune with the current happenings that I feel that we have to have some type of dialogue about and have some type of archive for. That's why the magazine component of the platform was created in the first place. The magazine came first, Get This Wisdom Live came after. But the magazine was created for accurate archives of things that we need to have for our future generations to come. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure I was asked to speak on a couple of more subjects, but quite frankly, they done slipped my darn head. If you know how I am when I get on these lives, I get into my zone and let spirit do its thing or whatever. But if I have forgotten anything, please feel free to inbox me, or anything you would like to hear me speak about. My inbox is always open. My email, you can email getthiswisdom@gmail.com. And yeah, and those of you who have my personal phone number, you can do that as well. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to end it like this, right? You guys have supported me through the highs and the lows. You have seen Shakti at her most pristine level of community work, my most powerful work, and you have seen me at my most human level of dealing with, deaths in the family, issues with my children, their special needs, you know what I mean? Issues on the home front. You guys, I have given you a full view of me in my life as an individual, so you know who you're dealing with. I've never presented myself to be something that I'm not. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me and my family through all of our transitions and whatever transitions we have to come. You guys mean everything to us. And I will see you again very soon. You got my word on that. I'm not going to play with y'all this time. Until then, peace, love, and Black power.